Can't go wrong with a alpaca cup. Hi, my name's Dave. I'm also known as InfectedFlinch. I did say I was going to do more video responses, so different setup again. Transformers over here. I don't know if I'll ever do a video on all of them. I've never really been interested in showing them off, but I have got quite a few, as you can see. But this is a video response to Gruss Newton, told Russell, Cithiron, as he says. You know, he's all that kind of jazz. Now, because I know Russ quite well, he's a good lad and I'm mates with him. He's been umming and ahhing about getting a PS4, and the new announcement for the new Sonic game came out, I think it was a few weeks ago now. I completely missed it. I blinked and missed it. Completely blinked and missed it. And I sent him a message because we're in this WhatsApp group together, and I always miss everything out because I've been really busy. Shit's been going on. I sent him the trailer, and everyone's like, yeah, this was 3 weeks ago. I'm like, oh, all right then. I had no idea. Didn't know. But when I actually look at it now, it looks pretty good. It's called Sonic Mania. It's made by the guy, well, the guy doing the art assets is the guy who did the Mega CD version that was on the 360 and the PS3 a while back. And I think I swayed him to a PS4. But what he asked was, which was interesting, and the more I thought about it, I was like, fuck, I'm pretty much a whore with this. Have you ever bought a console for one game? I have got literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 examples of when I've done that, and it's fucking insane the amount of times I've literally done this. Honestly, I have done it more times than I can count, and I didn't think I was like that. I always thought, oh, you know, but I have actually bought consoles before purely for one game, and then after that, it's like, never use them again, but I've kept them. So, we'll start off. PSP. I originally bought the PSP for Jack. No, not Jack, sorry, Daxter. It was Daxter. It's a bit battered, as you can tell. But I bought it for Daxter, the spin-off of Jack and Daxter. And that was about it. That's all I ever used this for. I think I bought a couple of games here or there, but never finished them, never did out with it. But I purely bought this for one reason, and one reason alone, and it was Daxter. Completed Daxter, really enjoyed it. I mean, the only I do remember buying Peace Walker for this, actually, a few years back. But you can see it's battered. But I took this when I went to do something in London once. It was a job I was on. But the problem I had with this was I wanted another stick, which the PS Vita kind of fixed. But I always thought it was the little console that could, but never really got it right. But yeah, I bought that purely for one reason, and it was Daxter. And then I left it for years and years, and then Peace Walker came out for Metal Gear Solid, which is another reason in a minute. You'll know where that one's going. And yeah, that was it. That was literally it. And it's been sat in a cupboard, that's why it's so dirty. Number 2, Nintendo DS. So it has actually been abused. This one's been abused as well, so I have used it. It's the original DS. I originally bought this for Professor Layton, and then that was it. I bought a oh fuck God. I bought one of them and never used it. I never used it. I bought it purely for this, for Professor Layton. Sold Professor Layton, which I was a bit sad about. And that was it. Completed it. Enjoyed it. It reminds me of the time I went to Portugal. So usually I buy these like handheld things if I'm going on holiday or something. I bought it for that, and then I never used it. I never used it again after that. The DS is this is it. I think these are really good. I love them both really, really a lot. And I bought them. That was it. Never used them again. It's bizarre. It literally is bizarre. Which brings me on to the third one, which is almost the same. And I bought this from Pete on a retro tip. So Pete Armour. I always want to call him Armour. I'm sorry, Pete. I'm sorry, mate. I'm just trying to make you sound fancier than you should be. But I bought... joking. I bought a 2DS. I literally, oh, there you go, there goes a pen. I bought a 2DS. I literally bought that from him. I love it. I think it's a great little thing. I think it's great. But I bought it purely for Pokemon Y. I bought it for Pokemon Y. And I played it for a bit. And I played it since. I went to do a job somewhere. And that was it. I did it purely for that. Purely for that. And then I've never used it again. I will probably get around to using it again. I think it's a great little thing. I think it's great. But that's all I've used it for. And it's got a case. So Pokemon Y is pretty fun. And this is it. I've gotten to Pokemon Go now, so you know it's weird. So yeah, that's 3 handhelds I've done that same thing with. I've done that exact same thing with. Next one, we're going back a few years. I basically had a mate back at school, and I traded, and you can see I'm brushing it off. I traded my Game Gear, I know, sacrilege, all my games with it, for one of these, a Nintendo 64, and it was purely I got this for Perfect Dark. That was it, and I loved it. I loved Perfect Dark. I think Perfect Dark is better than GoldenEye. Sorry, I could feel backlash there. But yeah, I mean, you can see. I mean, this is the original. These are all my original consoles, so they're all battered up. They're all battered up, but I loved it. I absolutely loved Perfect Dark. And then, yet again, I didn't really get much else for it. I got GoldenEye. I got No Mercy, and then that was it. And I don't think I ever played anything else on it. I just kind of let it go. Can you see a pattern here? Can you see a pattern with all these? So yeah, Nintendo 64. Next one, it is actually plugged in downstairs, and it has got a bit more use out of it, but for years and years, I'm talking years, I only had it for one reason, and it was because of this, for Metal Gear Solid 4, if I get it the right way around. So yeah, that was the main, it was the PS3. I bought a PS3 specifically for this. I actually found out it got released, it was on the way, and I just went, fuck you, I'm going for a PS3. I went nuts for it. It is just a glorified movie, don't get me wrong, and I really like it. I think it's still fun. I enjoy it. But I bought a PS3 specifically for this reason. And yeah, I've still got the PS3 downstairs and it's still plugged in. Because using PS Plus, you can just download free games, can't you? So I can see all these games that I missed because I had the 360 and I was more of a 360 guy anyway, but I couldn't get this. But yeah, that was that. Next two, kind of much of a muchness. But the first one is the Wii. So yeah, that's the Wii. I bought that for one game, and it was WarioWare, specifically for WarioWare, because I was with somebody at the time, and we had quite a big friend group, and we loved playing WarioWare. It was so much fun. And obviously things change, and there wasn't much else for the Wii that I was interested in, really. And yeah, yet another one that kind of got left at wayside, which is almost the same, when it's got a sticker on it, is this guy, the Wii U. These two have had the same principle in my life. This got bought for Mario Kart. Played it a few times, really enjoyed it, and that's it. And literally this has been sat downstairs doing nothing. Note. So, yeah. Have I bought a console for one game? Yeah, I'd say I have a few times. So don't ever, anybody out there, feel bad for buying something, for something that you want to play. Because I actually bought the PS4 originally to play the Abe's Odyssey remake. And that wasn't even for me, that was for my partner. So don't ever feel, if you're going to buy a console and it's something that you really want to have, do it. Go nuts. If you can afford it, if it's not going to put you into trouble, do it. Have a bit of fun. Because I've done it plenty of times, and now they're just laying around doing now. So, yeah, as you can see, just so many different things. So, yeah, have I? Yes, I have. And it's quite shocking how many times I've done it. And I thought I may have, learned, and I haven't. There's probably, I can see over there's probably even more things I have bought over the years for purely one reason, and then just let them go. And it's ridiculous how many times I'm looking around. But I usually have one core console, so I usually have one thing that keeps running, and I just buy little bits and pieces of other things if I can afford them. So yeah, and to be honest, I'll be honest, when I first saw the question, when Russ put it up, I didn't think it was all that interesting, but the more I thought about it, I was like, no, that is actually a really interesting question, because it makes you realize what your spending habits are like. Because these are just going to be left. I mean, like, this is probably only going to be ever played like once or twice, unless I keep going on holiday or I've got jobs somewhere else in a different part of the country. They're just, I mean, this is probably worth like £2. I'm never going to play it again, and this, I mean, Perfect Dark now is being remade and it's on 360. So, and when am I ever going to put this back in? And it makes you realize that maybe, just maybe, you buy too much shit, which is a question in itself. When do you stop? When do you just stop collecting? And I've asked this before, and people give me really good answers with it. And I've got so much stuff there, and it's collecting dust, and it's the thing of the collector, isn't it? Do you like? I know Gruss plays a lot of Sonic and Sonic 2. He's obsessed with it. It's his bread and butter. It gets him through. But for me, I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't churn on the same game all the time. Mind you, I'm playing Overwatch a lot at the moment, so that's me churning at the moment. That's my kind of thing where it's a bit competitive. But yeah, I'm just wax lyrically. Sorry, I'm just talking shit. So comment, like, and subscribe as you normally do. It's interesting, this whole thing about different things, and go and check out Gruss because he's doing really well with his channel. I've kind of let mine kind of fall by the wayside. I haven't been doing many video responses, but if you like this, do your comments. Let me know how you're getting on. I do like hearing from you, of course. And yeah, ta-ta sauce.